Yo, what is up everyone and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video with your host Ken Kukin. And today we have the raid guide for Salvation's End. We have the final encounter guide. Now, there's it looks like there's a lot of moving parts to this part of the fight or this part of the raid, but there's really not. So, right here we've settled, I don't know what this footage is about to show, but we settled on 3 ad clears, and I believe we were doing 3 people on the mechanics. Now, I'll explain the mechanics, all right? And let me get my cheat sheet. All right, so here's the cheat sheet. It looks kind of like this. Now, in this mechanic, you're going to see a couple of, or in this raid, in this encounter, you're going to see a couple of different mechanics. Now, if you're running any one of these mechanics, it's going to be pretty straightforward. There are going to be one of 3 arms that you're going to tend to, and you've been seeing it throughout the raid. One arm is going to come out of the ground and shoot bees out of its hand up and then into a circle like a bomb, right? Like a bombing strike. One arm is going to come out from, a long arm from the kind of the side, one of the sides, and it's going to, try and target someone and shoot like a laser beam, kind of like Rolk did in his raid where he would try to hit people with laser beams. And then one's going to come out of the sky, which is from the first encounter. It's going to come out of the sky and it's going to spin around and it's going to try and hit people with a bomb that explodes after a time. Now, that one right there, the triangle one, the arm that drops the triangle shape on the ground, is the most annoying arm to chase down because it can be on, the arm can be on the left and it could start attacking someone on the right of the map. So you find the arm, but you actually have to find the bomb that it's trying to explode on people. So and I'll show you these in a moment. So here's my cheat sheet. These shapes, each arm is correlated to one of these shapes. We have a red square, a yellow diamond, and a green triangle, right? Sorry if you're colorblind. Um the arm that shoots the laser is a square. So this is important. If you were there's a wipe mechanic in here and we'll talk about that in a moment. You'll see it all. Um we refer to this as square. We refer to this as circle, even though it's a diamond. It's the circle arm is what you take care of, and then you have the triangle arm, right? The bomb. So the residence shape, the yellow is a circle air hand, right? The red is a laser side hand, and the green is a triangle ground hand. Sky arm equals diamond, side arm equals square, ground arm equals triangle, right? The one that comes out of the ground, the one that comes from the side, and the one that comes from the sky. Represents, these are the shapes they represent, and they look like this for visual reference. So let me go ahead and dive into the footage because this is all just, you're going to see stuff, but you may not understand stuff, right? So I said, yo, I'll take charge of the triangle hand, right? So my goal is to step into the buff, or sorry, step into the attack pattern of the triangle hand, shoot the bracelet on it, reveal the color, and then go get the colored buff from the correct hand. So let me go ahead and play the footage. We're going to start it right here. Wait, let me make sure this is the one we succeed in. All right, this is the footage where we actually succeed in. Now, I'll talk about the builds here real quick before I dive in. What I found is 2 warlocks with wells help out a lot. For the first 50% of his health bar, you can stand in the well and survive anything he throws at you but the ground attack, and you'll see that at DPS. But to survive it, you need 100 resilience, and what I've been running is 1 solar resistance and 2 concussive resistances. That also allowed me to tank the mechanics of the attacks, right? Where, if I have to make a last minute dash to step inside the circle where the bees hit, which that's probably the hardest hitting mechanic in here, right? And I have to do the mechanic. I survived the bees well enough, right? Um the same thing with the laser beam and the same thing with the triangle, the bomb, right? So that's my recommendation is 100 resilience, 1 solar resistance on your chest piece, and 2 concussive resistances on your chest piece. That's what I've been using. And for the first 50% of the boss's health pool, you will survive every attack but the ground attack, so you don't have to move as much. After 50%, he doesn't increase his damage, but he'll attack slightly faster between the other moves, and you'll see that later. And that's the one you kind of have to start getting used to moving. So what my friend that was helping me started having people do is, instead of getting into DPS and DPSing right away, they just focused on dodging the first attack, and then the second attack, and then the third attack, the ground slam, and then they would start DPSing, right? Because there's going to be like a moment of space between the attack pattern, right? So let's say you dodge to the back left of the plate and you'll see it. You would just immediately run to the opposite side of the plate you're on, to the front right. And, because the attack patterns come in a pattern, right? It's whatever side he attacks first, he'll attack the opposite side after, right? So you would dodge it one way and then go the other way quickly to dodge the next one. And then there should be a small break sometime after those two that you can start DPSing, right? So anyway, let's go ahead and get to the arm mechanics, right? I'm running a well, my teammate's running a well. My teammates die in the well because I believe in this video recording, people just refuse to believe that I was surviving in the well. But as you can see, there's going to be few times where I'm going to die, and it's if I die, and it's only going to be because I didn't notice that his attack speed increased, and I would die by like a sliver of life that I should have lived, right? So, let's go ahead and speed it up by 10 seconds. There we go. I started up. So we have, oh, Born's here. Oh, I think we have 3 people running. Oh, okay. We're going to have 3. So here's the triangular shape. There's the arm in the sky. I'm going to step in this. I'm going to step in to the attack pattern, right? It does 2 things. Number 1, it allows me to shoot the bracelet. I revealed the color. It's red. Number 2, if you look at my bottom left, degenerate enmity. And then pyramidal resonance. Pyramidal resonance. That's the buff we're worried about. Essentially, if it gets to 4 stacks, you die. This is the same thing you've been picking up this whole time, right? In the first encounter, second encounter, third encounter, you've been picking up these buffs. And it's going to be a different name depending on the arm, right? It's a pyramid shape, right? It's a triangle that I stepped into, so it's going to be pyramidal resonance. When you step into the attack pattern, you're going to have like 2 seconds and it's going to give you that buff. So this is important. So the bracelet color was red. It's going to be red, yellow, or green. It happened to be red. So now I have to go to the arm that's going to give me the red buff. That happens to be the laser beam. So I get out of the attack pattern. I look, I see the arm at the back, and that's the one that shoots the laser. So I'm like, all right, who's it going to target? And then I get in the attack pattern, and what I have to do is just get the buff here. I don't shoot this arm. My job is to take care of the triangle arms at all times. So all I have to do is step in this, get the buff from here. I wait. It turned into a hexahedron resonance, right? And now I need to go get back in the triangle and shoot the triangle with the correct buff to stun the arm or break the bracelet, however you want to call it. So I let that triangular buff explode. And sometimes it's targeting a person. Sometimes they'll stay in the general area of what you were looking for, right? So if I see it explode there, there's a high chance it's going to try and explode on my buddy Born there, or to the guy right next to us on add clear true. It's targeting Born, so I just go ahead and step back in there. This is the part where timing matters. Already be ready to shoot it. Don't slide in there, shade step, jump, jetpack, nothing. Feet on the ground and just walk into it. There's going to be times where you try to do any of those other things to get in here, and you're actually going to waste time. You want to already be aiming at the thing. You can even pre-fire as you walk in there, because if it gives me back the pyramid buff, I will no longer be able to break it, because this one, it's the ground attack. It gives me green. That's how I remember. Ground equals green, because it attacks the ground with an explosion on the ground. It's a green color. So it'll give me the green color buff, which means as soon as I get that, I either have to go shoot someone else's shape or someone else's arm that has the green armband on it, or I have to go wait to cleanse with them, which, just slows this down. So I start shooting immediately when I step in, and I step out as quick as I can be. On the very first time you step into the arm, if you can do that, step in and out real quick and shoot the bracelet to see the color without getting the buff, that gives you room for error, right? Without having to wait for everyone. So what I say is broke triangle arm, right? We're calling the arms by the shape they make for the wipe mechanic, right? We want to know what shape we need to deal with when it comes to the wipe mechanic. So I said broke triangle. That's it. And now I just go. I'm supposed to add clear, but I kind of just putz around like an idiot. Uh, and bam, in the bottom left corner it says the witness test you. Now my teammate, it looks like he shot the uh I think he shot the circle arm a second ago with the bees. So we want a diamond shape up there. Whatever arm you broke last when the witness tests you, and it's random at the time he tests you. He tests you at least once every mechanic phase before DPS phase. He tests you once. It'll just say the witness tests you. So we call out what arm we broke last, and we actually got to the point where we started saying I'm about to break. So when I got my buff, hopefully I said I'm going to break triangle arm. That way everyone knows I'm about to break it and no one breaks their arm at the same time, and then we're confused or not certain which shape we need to leave in this mess of nonsense, right? So we're very vocal about it, right? So it's the witness test you. I believe we're gonna want a diamond here. You're gonna see all the Cheetos in front of him. So I'm gonna assume the shape is okay. It's got to be a square because I'm about to shoot a diamond shape. So it seems like Born was the last one to break an arm. Born probably said, rectangle arm or laser arm, and I said, hey, we want a square left over, right? That's the shape. So because we broke the square arm last and then he tests us, that means we want to leave a square up. So we shoot everything but the square shape icons, which is everything in the center of this. So, I shoot 1, 2, everyone else is shooting. We tell people if they don't know what they're shooting, don't shoot anything. And there's a square shape. Now he's going to try to wipe us here. I was just shooting my gun to see if my teammates would panic. Stop shooting, stop shooting. He's going to try to wipe us, which means we have to jump off the floor. You look, the floor is glowing. He's going to do a big ground earthquake attack. And bam, his eyes have lit up, right? At that moment you jump, right? That's when you need to jump, because sometimes he'll attack a little faster, sometimes he'll attack a little slower on that wipe mechanic. It's when you hear the sound and you'll get used to hearing it, but when you see the eyes glow or flash, that's when you jump. So we jump. All right, bam. Now are we waiting for? Oh yeah, we're gonna go break the buttons. I've been calling them buttons. There are 6 of them. Now what we do is we break them at the same time, because every time you break a button, 2 subjugators spawn. But no more subjugators will spawn as long as one is left up. So you can either leave one up and alive, which is annoying, or if you break 3 buttons at a time, right? Or before both subjugators die from the first one being broke, you don't have to deal with 2, 4, 6, 8 subjugators. We're just going to deal with 2, and then we're going to deal with 2 after DPS. So we're going to jump on the plate. We're going to have a countdown. And I've been calling out, hey, I probably shoot the top left. I'm like, hey, I'm shooting top left. 3, 2, 1, shoot, right? We go to break our button. Bam. It takes my buff away, which I'll show you in a minute. It says glyph breaker at the top of the screen when you got your stuff correct. And now, I don't know why I'm looking around, but we're supposed to take a moment. Everyone is supposed to stop for a second and destroy the subjugators together, right? Just everybody, not just myself, but everybody. And I don't do it. I just forget. So I go to my mechanic. I stepped in, I shot it, the bracelet was red. I step right back into the laser. I get the buff. And now I quickly am looking, and I miss my rocket. Hardy har. I quickly try to make work of the bracelet that I was right next to. Now it looks like there's 2 bracelets out. So now I have to shoot the correct one. And I shot the wrong one. Now I have yellow, and it's like, oh no, I messed up. I need to get a yellow buff. So it's like, all right, I need the hand that's shooting the bees. I need the circle hand. So I find the circle hand, I step in it, I get the buff. I go back to this triangle. I quickly step in and shoot. I even take the hit, right? You see my health go down. I take the hit. I break the arm, and I say, we still call out circle broken or whatever, but I've never seen this dude test us twice. The white mechanic, I've never seen him test us twice before DPS. I don't think he does. But for good practice, we just keep calling it out. And now I just need to stay alive, make sure I don't accidentally get a stack of 4 buffs, right? Because if I get another buff from a different shape, we're going to die. We call out it's time for DPS. We've been telling people, get ammo orbs, but sometimes we're short on the clock and we just say, hey, we're starting DPS, you better get here or, you're going to miss out. So we start DPS, and the DPS we've been using is the Golden Gun Sniper. If you don't have that, go get that, right? So we're going to shoot the buttons real quick, me and one other person. It looks like a third button was already broken way earlier. The well doesn't pop until we get all the way up here. So he's going to pop first well, bam. And then, we start doing DPS. Here comes the attack. I just stand right there. I don't move. I don't care what it's going to do. It doesn't bother me. It looks like I'm about to die, but I don't. Some people are dying in the well. Again, I question if they're in the well, if they have the right mods. There's the jump attack. The jump attack is sometimes hard to see. You have to be listening for it. And we believe, someone mentioned, they said they believe the ground attack happens after so much damage is dealt to him every once in a while, right? So, which would make sense because sometimes he'll attack with his like laser beams from one side or the other, and simultaneously he'll try to do the ground attack, right? So if you look, he's gonna move his arms backwards like this, right? His arms are moving backwards. I jump really high, but his eyes flash and you jump. I jump on a warlock really high because I can sit in the air much, much longer, right? So I don't wait around to jump. As soon as I can, I do jump. And I just stay in the sky really high. I do my Phoenix dive to heal as I come back down, and I build up my golden gun. He's about to slam the plate and push us off. I squeeze out my last couple of shots. I've lived from him hitting the plate, but not like directly, so just don't be on the plate on the safe side. Be getting back to, the mechanics. I squeeze out these last 3 shots, and then I move out of the way. Now, it's a rinse and repeat, right? So we're going to kill the subjugators we left over from the last buttons broke, right? I put on a rocket because I'm only using the sniper as DPS. My machine gun that I was using just wasn't very accurate for what I wanted, so I'm just like, I'll just put a rocket on and try and damage him. No matter what, the subjugator takes a long time to break, and I don't know, I didn't get its team shot on the left, so I quickly step in, reveal the bracelet as red, and I'm going to look for the laser buff. Now, we seen that I had 2 bomb arms earlier, right? And let me briefly talk about, and I'll talk about other armor mods you can use for this. And I don't have any raid armor mods yet, like the ones that are specific to its armor yet. I don't have those yet unlocked. But the quicker you go through and break the arms you need to break, right? After a time, he's gonna spawn duplicate arms. So if I broke one of my bomb arms, right, one of the triangle arms, or if I revealed the colored bracelet for one of my triangle arms, the other triangle arm may not have the same shape. So especially the triangles, right, because they like to attack different parts of the map, I won't even know whose like triangle I'm walking into. I just gotta shoot and hope I got the right one, right? So the faster you can get through the buttons, the better off you're gonna be. Like, it's gonna save you a big headache of duplicate arms while you're running around. So we run over. I need the red buff. I jump into this. It doesn't give it to me because I think I'm too far away. Sometimes the very edge of that sucks. I started telling people on our team, if you see the stairs in front of me where my cursor is at, I was very upset chasing down these shapes, and I told people, I said, stop going down below, like stop going down the stairs and running to the front of the map, making us chase down the shapes we need, especially the triangle. It's a huge nuisance and super annoying. I highly recommend you guys get comfortable and efficient at killing ads from a distance. Very efficient. Please do not make your runners run any further than they need to. It's a waste of time and effort, and especially when arms start duplicating for everyone, then it becomes messy and it probably guarantees a wipe, right? So I go as quick as I can. Now this arm is targeting someone that's literally on the other side of the map, and there's not much I can do about, it making me run forward. So I get it. The triangle bomb has changed locations, it looks like, so the color might have changed too. It did not. I got lucky. When the arms disappear and relocate, there's a 50% chance they change the color. It'll never be its own color, right? So I was looking for red and it had moved from the last time I seen it. There was a 50% chance it was not going to be red anymore. It would have been yellow, right? So, and yellow comes from the circle. I remember bees equals yellow, yellow bees. So it looks like we're going to shoot a diamond out at least. I know that if it's a diamond shape, no, it's a triangle. Okay. I usually only shoot the symbols I know for sure are part of it, and there it is. I jump really high in the sky early. I don't wait. And the reason I jump up so high is because when it's DPS, I want to make sure that I'm jumping over any laser beams that might be accompanying the ground wipe. We only get to break 2 buttons this time. I think our teammate just told us to go ahead and break them. So there's my triangle beam. I don't jump into those shapes if they're on awkward platforms, and if they somehow end up on awkward platforms, it's because your teammates are jumping on blocks and standing things more than we would like them to, and it's just gonna make it more annoying. Sometimes you'll stand in the laser beam and it won't give you the buff, depending on the elevation that you're at and the elevation the arm was actually targeting. It's very, again, it's a very annoying thing. So it looks like I'm getting the yellow buff because the bracelet I need to break is yellow, and I did, right? And at the top of the screen it says glyph breaker. That means you're ready to break a glyph, which is what the buttons are. I just call them buttons, right? We got another one from one of our teammates. It looks like we're going to break 2 to 3. And one of our teammates just says, just go, bro. Don't wait for everyone to sync up 3 buttons. Just start breaking buttons. So we're like, all right. So we throw out the synchronization plan and we're just like, all right, we're just going to deal damage to the buttons as quick as possible. So I get red. I'm going to go over here and get the red buff. I'm walking and I don't know why. I don't know why I'm not getting. I have no clue why I'm getting the red buff. I think there's one button left and someone says, I'll get it, I'll get it. But I should have just got the red buff and just called it a day. But it works out. I don't even finish off that subjugator, it's not worth it. Right? So the first well is going to get dropped. You're going to see me die here, I believe, because the attack patterns are a little faster than I was ready for. And I had not been dying. Once I started doing this, I stopped dying. But, now I'm going to, when I go through the raid, I'm now practicing me. Yeah, there it is. I didn't fully healed up. I'm now practicing me moving, right? So, and then jumping attack pattern, and then I'm going to drop my well. I don't wait for the other well to run out. I just immediately get my well on the ground. Pretty much after the first ground slam. It's just like, all right, time to put my well down. We push for final stand because I'm like, do we want to push or do we want to play it safe? And one of my teammates just said, just push it, bro. Don't wait. Just push the damage because he was tired of being here, right? We were here a little longer than we wanted to be. And this was not our first defeat. Now, this is the same thing. We're going to have to dodge attacks. I'm in a well. No, it does not save me, but I think I just stand in it anyway. I'm not 100%. No, I start dodging. Exactly. All right. Bam, bam, bam. And we all die. Well, a lot of us die right there, and then we do get the final blow, right? So I did pour on my dodging because at that point I was just putting trust in the well, but then it dawned on me later. It's like, oh, his attack patterns are faster, and that's why I started dying. Because I do remember someone saying it somewhere, or in maybe a Reddit raid guide that I had read when I was going through my first clear, mentioned that his attacks start coming in a little bit faster. But that's it. That's the encounter. As far as ad clear goes, just kill ads left or right. As far as the other arms go, it's just like mine. So I'm in charge of triangles. I step into the buff, or I step into the shape. I shoot the bracelet, reveal the color. I go to the corresponding other shape that I need. I get the color from it. So the triangle gives out a green buff. The circle gives out a yellow buff because it shoots the bees. So that's how I remember it. Bees equal yellow, so yellow bees, and the laser beam is red, like a red laser. It gives the red, right? So that's the color it gives. And as far as mods go, I would say Wells, a good mod, or any of the runners, a good mod for you to run on your helmet is Radiant Light. When you pop it, you just give everyone armor charges so they can immediately get their surges, weapon surges. If you're not running Wells, Wells will drop orbs of light and they can get their weapon surges from that. Recuperation is a good one. And then obviously have your resistances ready. So anyway, that's the raid guide. I don't think there's anything else I really need to talk about this. Just get proficient at dodging. I wish in this video I was dodging more than anything, right? And I guess we'll go back and show the footage real quick of um where maybe I'm not standing still, right? So it's time for DPS. We drop the first well. Yeah, and I trust it so much that I just stand in the well. But he attacks me, and then he attacks me again, and I just really don't dodge it. So remember, if you focus on dodging first, you're gonna survive more. So before you do DPS, you would start dodging, right? Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. If it helped you, let me know in the comment section below that it helped you. If you're still confused or you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below, and maybe I can clarify them in the comments with you, or I can have another video come out to cover the very specific thing that you might be missing. Thanks so much. Ooh, hiccup. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your night, evening, morning, whatever it may be. Peace out, and I will see you all next time.